I recently made a video about why pro photographers don't use Godox. I got a lot of hate. Yeah, quite a lot of hate, but the comments were interesting. I'm going to address some of these comments, and they come from two camps from what I can gather. And again, grossly oversimplifying this and not going into every possible outcome because we don't have all day. There were two main groups. We're going to look at what the pro photographers were saying first, which I hadn't covered, and then look at what other photographers, both professional and amateur, but from different genres, were saying second, which is where we get into the hateful comments. Now, first and foremost, before you go any further and start writing Godox is great, here's some Godox. I use Godox. Most of my portfolio is shot in Godox. And you know, when we're shooting with like £100,000 cameras, we've used Godox Lights. When we shoot with my usual day-to-day cameras, we use Godox Lights. That's not what that video is about. This light is pretty good. However, the light I'm using here, this is an aperture. It's built better. If we take these Godox Lights and use them like pros do, they're not going to last very long. And this is where the pro photography comment and community came in to like leave their opinion of something I'd missed out. And let's talk about that now. Build quality is incredibly important in photography. So let's look at this whole eco-structure in the UK. So in London, New York, Paris, Milan, Madrid, it works a bit like this for the most part. I'm the photographer. I'm an anomaly because I've got my own studio out here, but I don't work in this one for commercial work. I go down to London to shoot. We phone up Pro Digital, Pro Direct, Wex, Calumet, whoever's renting to us, Teamworks, of course. Get them to say, we need this kit. They will then rent us the lights we need to go and shoot. And as stated in the previous video, you have the choice of Broncolor or Pro Photo. That is it. Now, if they started renting out Godox kit, yes, it's cheaper to buy and cheaper to rent, but that build quality and that serviceability isn't there. If it was a good business decision for them, it would work. And it doesn't, so we don't use it. Likewise, if I was going to kit out this studio here, this is my test shoot studio, this is where we do the fun stuff or very small jobs. Of course I'd buy Godox. We don't have it thrown in and out of vans on a daily basis. We don't have all this heavy usage going on. And light is light for the most part. As long as you can get a good, white balance and a consistent one and a decently consistent exposure, for 99% of jobs, Godox will do that for you. However, when it's coming in and out of vans and being used by me and my assistants who treat everything like it's a football, not really the brand of use. So that's something I hadn't discussed during the video and I thought is worth touching on because the comments were absolutely valid. There was then another type of video comment, and I assume these people hadn't watched the video because, well, I've just explained, but I think the comments in themselves are worth addressing because they are valid comments. And they kind of sit in two camps. One is, and I don't understand this, the Godox is great, I use Godox. Because I use Godox, it must be good. I use a Blackmagic 6K camera over here for my YouTube videos. It sucks at loads of stuff. But it's a good price point for shooting raw video footage. I can get a nice grade on here. And I can get my nice like pinging white point, which I really like, which I know a lot of you don't, but I can get that nice look that I'm into. Now, just because I use it doesn't mean it's good. It works at the right price point for the return on investment I need for my YouTube channel and my workshops. That's how I chose it. If I wanted the best camera, I'd get something else, but it's not a great camera. It's all right. It's got foibles. That I don't understand. I don't have any brand loyalty. If someone bought out a better camera than the Blackmagic within the same price bracket, I would jump to it. And of course, an Alexa's better, a Red's better. They're much better cameras. They just don't make financial sense for me at the moment. That's that dealt with. The second one I think is interesting though. It is, well, I'm a headshot photographer and I use Godox, it's fine. I'm a wedding photographer, I use Godox, it's fine. Yes, and here comes the problem with YouTube. So let's talk about driving. Imagine you're a professional driver. I've given you that bit of information there. Or a professional photographer. That is about as broad as these terms get. You've got one chap over here driving Uber, and then you've got this lady racing around a Formula 1 track at the speed of light. They are two different people. Headshot photographer, commercial photographer, two different people, two different requirements. Headshot photographers don't tend to rent equipment in, which is why, if I was a headshot photographer, I'd be rocking the Godox. Wedding photographers, and I was one many, many years ago, would be rocking the Godox. Now, I rocked Godox at weddings before they were good. Back when you'd order 3 flash guns and you'd get, despite them being the same model, 3 different boxes and 3 different designs. But when you've got it set up off camera and the drunk bridesmaids are running past it and then the groomsman's swinging his mate round his head like this, you don't mind if it goes down. Whereas if a Canon speed light with a pocket wizard on it went down, there's like 700 quid gone. It is not saying there's anything wrong with Godox. Godox make great flashlights, great affordable lights as well. And the light quality is brilliant. It just doesn't fit in the ecosystem. And this channel here is all about the business of commercial photography. Yes, we dabble in other bits now and again, but predominantly that'll be what we're talking about. So that's kind of summing up those questions, which I thought were worth answering because so many people had these comments. And I think if a lot of people are thinking it, let's address it. And this is, rather than replying to each comment, this is the best way to address it because then everyone can see it. Anyway, I hope it's been of use to you. If you've got any more questions or comments, pop them down below. I'd love to see them. Bye-bye.